Hey everybody, it's Karen here. Karen McDermott Rolfe, independent advisor with Creative Memories. And I am back with my Valentine's Day card. If you were following along yesterday, I did a Facebook Live presentation here on my Facebook page, and I was, about halfway through or so, and my internet went out. And so the video abruptly stopped on me. It was kind of funny because I didn't realize that happened. I just went all the way through creating the whole project before I realized what had happened. But that's one of the reasons I don't do too many Facebook Lives, is that I do have an unreliable internet service. So I thought I'd make a quick little video here to talk about my card and show you what I ended up doing and giving you some further tips and instructions on it. But just to start off, I wanted to share this project with you as a way to inspire all of you guys to send some Valentine cards to some of your friends and family. Valentine's Day, it's just a great excuse to send something in the mail. And, we know we don't get too much good mail anymore, right? It's just only bills and things that come, that most of our correspondence is electronic. But we know that feeling of when we go to the mailbox and we find a card, especially a hand addressed card in the box, that feeling of a little excitement and joy, and then opening it up. So just imagine somebody receiving your Valentine in the mail, getting that little thrill of joy and happiness when they see it, and then opening it up to find the Valentine inside of it. So I just wanted to encourage you to spread a little joy and kindness with some Valentine's Day cards. I also want to give a shout out to our Creative Memories card kits. We have some wonderful card kits. They're really lovely. They come with all the pieces and you layer them and you build the card yourself. There's instructions. It takes about an hour to make about 12 cards, and they're really pretty. Some of them have decorative elements like some ribbon and twine. Um, there was some stitching that we did on the Christmas cards. So they're very, very nice. And they're really economical too. If you look at the price of what you would pay for a layered card like that in a store, I think our card kits are really a great deal. However, we don't really have a Valentine's Day card kit this year. So nothing really specific. There are some general card kits that do have some sentiments that might lend itself well for Valentine's Day. So if you have some of those on hand, you might take a look at those sentiments that are in those general card kits. And there's probably something there that you can use for Valentine's Day. But anyway, I wanted to make some of my own. And for mine, I am using the blank cards from Creative Memories. So our blank card kits come with 12 white blank cards with envelopes. And these are really nice, you guys. This is a heavy cardstock. This is heavier than our scrapbooking cardstock. So it's kind of a card weight. They're scored and folded for us, so nice, and bright white. So ready to go. So I've used one of these cards, and let me show you how my Valentine ended up. So we have the little half of a heart here, and then we're going to fold open the card, and we have my little sentiment that kind of pops up, kind of gives it a little bit of a dimension, a pop-up feel, and then we have the big heart here, and I'll have some space where I can write a little note here. This card is going to be for my granddaughter Ellie, because she is my sunshine. Before she was born, I always referred to her as Baby Sunshine, and as a little baby, she was Baby Sunshine, and now she's my sunshine girl. So that's why Ellie's getting a yellow Valentine instead of a pink or red one. But I thought it turned out really nicely. I used the paper and laser embellishments here from the Butterscotch Vivid Melodies collection. So all of these embellishments, the laser title too, are in that embellishment pack for the Butterscotch Vivid Melodies, and the paper came from there also. There's a Jazzberry paper and embellishments that go with the Vivid Melodies collection that's all in tones of pink. So that would be a really nice one too to make some Valentines with. So to get started, I've used our gemstone cutting patterns. This is the largest heart. There are 2 hearts in the gemstone, but this is the largest one. And I'm going to be using the green blade. So take the blank card and you're going to open it, okay? And then you're going to place your cutting template, again, the largest heart, right in the center. So line up the crease of the card with the center of the cutting pattern. And this is a little different from my Facebook Live yesterday. And I think it's going to work out a little bit better. That card I was making live had a few little issues that I had to tinker with, and I played around with it some more, and this way worked out much better. So now you got to think about it. We only want to cut one side, so don't start cutting. Right away our tendency would be to cut here on the right. But no, you want to cut the left, because this left part is the front panel of the card, right? So again, having that in the center, making sure when you put the green blade in the groove, you've got it spaced so it's going to cut here right at the top. And you're going to come over to the crease mark in the center of the card. Okay, you can stop a little shy, finish cutting it with your scissors, or if you overcut it a little bit, it'll be okay because we'll cover that up. So after you cut it, your card's going to look like this. Okay, so there is where we cut. So then to finish the card, I cut a piece of rectangle of the floral paper here to put on the inside, and I just cut this to the measurement of the card itself, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So again, that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And when I taped it down, it did overhang a little bit, so I just kind of turned it upside down and used my personal trimmer to square it all off, so that way it'll fit in the envelope nicely. Okay, so I did the back panel. And then again, I took the large heart and some of the designer paper, and I cut 2 hearts using the green blade again. So here is the pale yellow with the green blade. So to put this in the center of your card, just kind of lay it there, figure where it's going to go. And then I kind of just held it down and folded it to give it a nice score. You're going to see kind of it's going to overlap a little bit, and that's okay. Okay, that was all right with me. So now when I opened it, it's scored, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape the right side down. So tape the right side down. But I left the left side floppy. And I'm not sure if I can't remember now for the Facebook Live. I had some issues because I had taped both sides down. But every time I closed the card, it would want to pull apart and it would buckle and kind of give me this crinkling noise. So I think it worked better by leaving it not adhered. But I think it looks just fine and it works just fine. And it made me think of cards that we buy in the store. Think of those that have the vellum insert in the middle. They'll have a little piece like a vellum, and that is always loose too, right? And I think it has something to do with that fold and the adhering it properly. So just keep this side loose and adhere that right side, okay? Then after you do that, you're going to cut a second heart, again with the large one. You could use different paper like I did or the same. And you're going to take it and you're just going to adhere it right onto the front of the card. So right on the front part. Now the piece here on the back side had overlapped, so it kind of created a little bit of a mat. And I just left that. I could have, trimmed it a little bit with my scissors if I wanted, but, it's lighter than this darker paper, so I think it just gave the look like it's kind of a matted piece. So I just left that. So I taped that down and then took the trimmer and cut off the half of it. Okay. And then to finish it off, I used my dual tip black pen. I did some faux stitching around the edge here, and I did the faux stitching on the heart. You might want to do the faux stitching before you adhere this piece down, because it kind of runs over the edge a little bit here. So I found it easier to do the faux stitching first before I taped it down. Okay. So then after I had all of the pieces of paper down, it was time to embellish. So I added some embellishment pieces here to the front, and so it overlaps it a little bit. And then I had the floral and the little greenery piece here on the inside. which, you know, it peeks through on the front, so I like that look a lot. Normally, you know, I would use foam squares to give a little dimension, but this card already has some dimension here due to the fold and the layers of paper and then the laser title in the middle. So I did not want to use foam squares on this because I was afraid of it being too bulky for my envelope and for the postage, okay? But if you do use foam squares on it, you know, keep in mind you might have to add a little bit of extra postage for it if you're going to mail it. And then I used the laser title. Again, this was from the butterscotch embellishments. And I found, and you can see it's kind of floppy there, I've got a little bit of repositional tape that's holding this down, but really I have a good amount right in the center of it. And again, that was helping. When I started out by trying to tape it all down, but every time I did, when I opened it, it would want to pull it apart anyway. So that's why I kept it loose. And it just gives it that kind of pop-up thing, you know, aspect to it. And we can see here, if I pull these up, and just leave that adhesive right in the center, there it goes. It gives you a little bit more of that pop-up. There we go. So I thought that was kind of cute. I like that, like a little pop-up card. So I only have a good amount of that repositional tape right in the center. Now, before I adhered this laser piece down, I determined where I wanted my middle to be, and I thought it would be right between the M and the Y there would be a good spot. So I used my 12-inch trimmer with the scoring blade, and I scored it on there. Now, I had to press really hard and numerous times because this is kind of a little bit of a lightweight chipboard, right? This is a little heavier weight piece. So to get it scored, I had to press pretty hard, back and forth several times, and then I turned it upside down and scored it some more on the back side so I could get this to fold. If you look there, you can see a little bit of my repositional tape residue. So I'll just kind of clean that up. But anyway, that's what I did. And now I'm going to be able to write that sentiment in there. And then I took one of our envelopes and I just jazzed this up a little bit too. It's plain white in the middle, but I cut this little insert to match with my card. Isn't that pretty? And again, I used a pattern from the gemstone cutting pattern, and this is the diamond. And to cut this piece, I used the inside edge, and I used the red blade this time, okay? The red blade on the inside edge to make that little diamond piece. And then I just adhered that inside the envelope just to give it a little something pretty. And then kind of make sure, you know, you score that good and tape it in there and you're good to go. So I have a beautiful card. And like I said, I hope that I've inspired all of you to create a Valentine and send it out in the mail. And I hope that all of you receive a Valentine too. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.